How has the Muslim Brotherhood been able to survive? In fact, how did they become the largest Muslim group in the world? Well, the answer is in Hassan al-Banna's genius. He's the founder of the Muslim Brotherhood. We're going to look at him today in detail. I'm Randall Terry. This is Voice of Resistance.
Those who forsake the law praise the wicked. Those who uphold the law resist them. Welcome to the Voice of Resistance. Here's your host, Randall Terry.
Welcome to the show, friend. We are going to continue with this 9-part series on the Muslim Brotherhood. If you have missed any of them and you want to see them, you can find them online and they're free. Okay, go to our website, Voice of Resistance, and you can watch the entire series or any parts that you have missed. We have received a credible death threat, and I want to ask you for your prayers and ask you for your help. At the end of this broadcast, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what has happened and how you can help us. But I'm begging you, no matter what, pray for us. Welcome to today's show, friend. I have to have fun when I do this program, especially when I cover this material, because if I didn't, I would lose my mind, all right? This is so dark. When you really look at the Muslim Brotherhood and historic Islam and what it has done to enslave people, to brutally murder people, to torture people, and it's all a part of the very fiber of their religion, part of the example of Muhammad himself, all right? Remember, if you didn't know it and you're just flipping through the dial, Muhammad killed people with his own hand, all right? He decapitated people. Jesus died to start Christianity. Muhammad killed to start Islam. Now you've got it in a bumper sticker. So anyway, this is stressful stuff. It's stressful stuff. Because Islam is committed to the destruction or the subjugation, the complete enslavement of the church. You know how much I hate child killing. But if I had to choose to live in a country that was free, like America, that killed its babies, or a country that was a Muslim country but did not kill its babies, I would still choose America, because at least we can fight to end the child killing, and the faith of Jesus Christ given to us through the Lord, his apostles, and then the church, we have it, all right? We have it. So when we look at the Muslim Brotherhood, we have to understand that this is not new and novel, all right? This is as old as Islam itself. I'm getting ahead of myself. All right, let's get back to Hassan al-Banna and the Muslim Brotherhood. Founded in 1928. By 1936, they had 20,000 members. By 1939, they had 100,000 members. All right, they're exploding, right? 1944, they had 500,000 members. And as I mentioned yesterday, the Brotherhood was sending arms and warriors to fight in Palestine against the Jewish movement for a homeland. And again, al-Banna's stated vision, Hassan al-Banna, the founder of the Muslim Brotherhood, was to re-Islamize historically Muslim nations and then to see the authority of Islam expand to encompass the entire world. Now, while al-Banna's ideas were in no way new, in no way novel, okay, his ideas were as old as Islam itself and could be found in many of the Orthodox writings from Muhammad's era to al-Banna's day. I mean, that's the stuff he was reading. That's where he got these ideas, all right? These new heralds of old ideas, young men with a vision to live and die for Islam, these new heralds were not stamped out by external pressure. They were not. The government tried to destroy them. The Egyptian government eventually tried to completely suppress them. They weren't stamped out. When their leadership changed, no. And the reason that the Muslim Brotherhood has withstood every effort to destroy it by every so-called Muslim dictator in the world was because al-Banna spent so much time developing the infrastructure of his organization. Okay? al-Banna's success rested on 3 pillars: institution building, indoctrination, and the cultivation of personal loyalties, both horizontally and vertically. All right? personal loyalties to the brothers in your cell and to the leaders. And they developed what they called a family system of thousands of cells, limited to 5 men. This is the Muslim version of the cell church, okay? 5 men. When they get to 6 men, it splits, 3 and 3, and they recruit 2 more. And these cells were flexible, they were teachable, they were controllable, and they were virtually indestructible by virtue of their decentralized nature. Lastly, they developed the special apparatus. When we come back from this break, I will look at that really pleasant euphemism. The special apparatus. Sounds like a tool. Maybe you use that tool to do what? Well, let's find out after this break. My wife and I, for 5 years, have been grinding our own wheat and baking our own bread from scratch. Within 2 hours, you can have fresh wheat in your hand and then piping hot bread come out of the oven. The most nutritious and delicious bread you will ever have. And we do it for under $1 a loaf. Call Paula's Bread and find out about this grain mill and the mixer and how it can save you money and change your life. Do you want to have knowledge, wisdom, discernment? If so, you have to read good books on theology, history, books that look at the lives of great men and women. So to help you to become a more effective Christian, a better witness for truth, somebody who can engage in productive conversation that exhorts and edifies those that you speak with, we're going to do something crazy. We're offering you these 7 books for a gift of any size. You just pay for the shipping and handling, and then give whatever gift that you can, and we will send them to you. But just to make it a little bit more crazy, I will send you a second copy of my 3 books, autographed. You can give them as a gift to your pastor or to a family member and help extend truth and justice in the world. This is while supplies last. What good is a theory if you can't apply it to the real world, right? I mean, Hassan al-Banna says that our goal is Islam and we're prepared to die and jihad is great and God is great. All right, you got your little cell groups. You're teaching that we need to restore the caliphate. You're teaching that we need one big political Islamic nation like we had since the dawn of time. How do we get there? We need something special. I got to go to one of my, like maybe a Pakistani accent. Is that what I need to go with? I'm going to try for Pakistani. I love your country, but we need this special apparatus. Allah wants this special apparatus. I don't understand. It's special apparatus. Say it louder, then I can hear it better. Special apparatus. The special apparatus. A paramilitary wing. Yes, the Muslim Brotherhood created a secret society inside of the secret society called the special apparatus. It was a paramilitary wing. For the purpose now, the practical application of jihad. The Muslim Brotherhood's slowly built organizational structure with mortar-like ideology and relational cohesion ultimately withstood the efforts of both the British and the Egyptian authorities and the authorities in a lot of other Islamic nations to destroy it. And folks, I'm telling you, they have been trying to destroy it to this very day. And guess what? The Egyptian government of Mubarak fell and the Muslim Brotherhood is still standing. Muammar Gaddafi is dead and the Muslim Brotherhood is still standing. And oh yes, they have enormous amounts of control in Egypt and Libya. So this special apparatus had rigorous physical and mental training. They were doing all-night prayer vigils, Quran study. There were about 1,000 brothers, Muslim brothers, in the special apparatus by the mid-1940s. Now they came to consider themselves as the elite of the Brotherhood. Regarding armed struggle for Islam, the so-called free officers were born at this time. Now, these were military officers inside of the Egyptian army that were sympathizers with or members of the Muslim Brotherhood. And they trained the Brotherhood's mujahideen in the use of arms. So they would get an Egyptian officer or a sergeant who became a devout member of the Brotherhood and said, hey, you know how to use guns. You've got military training. Train us. So these free officers trained other members of the Muslim Brotherhood, and thereby, that's what they call themselves, free officers, thereby they created the literal terrorist wing of the Muslim Brotherhood. All right, I'm going to take a break. When we come back, who was the first major political leader to be assassinated by the Muslim Brotherhood? I'll be right back. Do you want to get America out of the hands of wicked and unjust men and women who are destroying the republic before our eyes, and put leadership back into the hands of righteous men and women so that we don't die as a nation? Well, you're talking about social revolution, and there are rules in social revolution. We can look at the victorious social revolutions of the past, such as the end of slavery, the end of child labor, women's voting rights, the end of segregation, and so much more, and learn from their victories. Look at their actions, their images, their rhetoric, their sacrifices, and their final fruit. We will send you this series that originally cost $129, 7 books for students, 1 teacher's guide, if you'll give a gift of any size and just pay for shipping and handling. Take advantage of it today. Welcome back to the program, friend. If you just joined us, we are doing a multi-part series on the Muslim Brotherhood. If you are interested in this material, you can learn more at our website, voiceofresistance.com, and see a whole bunch of episodes. I promise you, you will learn more about the Muslim Brotherhood on this television show than probably any TV show in America today. And if I'm wrong, I apologize, and I tip my hat to anyone who's doing it. And I thank God for this network and for our affiliates who have the courage to air the truth and are not browbeaten by political correctness into silence or by fear. All right? The way that we will lose to Islam is to be afraid and to allow ourselves to be quiet and to not say the truth. I'm committed to say the truth. And I hope you are too, and that's why I hope you're watching this program. All right. The special apparatus being trained by free officers. Jamal Abd al-Nasir is the man who led the coup against the Egyptian government in 1952, ultimately became president. He was a key player in the free officers, and he had close ties to the Brotherhood at the beginning of his rule. By the way, does the name Anwar Sadat ring a bell with you? The man, the Egyptian president, who signed a peace treaty with Israel? He was also an early member of the free officers. And their partial ideological heirs in the Egyptian army, all right, because they had people that got more and more crazy, more and more devout. Some of their former brothers from the Muslim Brotherhood actually assassinated Anwar Sadat in 1981. I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyway, notably for this television series concerning the Brotherhood, today anyway, Albana stood, this is critical, Albana actually ran for office. He stood for election on 2 separate occasions. Now this is critical because inside of the Muslim Brotherhood there are those who are willing to do it from the bottom up, to get elected, to win elections and to take over a government, and then there are those who are willing to do it from the top down. Actually, any devout Muslim probably would want to see it from the top down because they won't even honor the democratic system. But if they can get elected and get the levers of power in their hand and then shoot the head of democracy, they're happy to do that. Because the issue is to get control of the government so that you can implement Sharia law. All right? Anyway, simultaneously with his personal move towards more political action, in the early 1940s, he created the special apparatus. So you've got these two tracks going on. From the bottom, let's try elections. From the top, let's try revolution. Now, while Al-Banna was publicly declaring his loyalty to the government, the secret apparatus, or the special apparatus, was being designed and implemented for violent jihad in Egypt. First, to fight the British. Second, to protect the Brotherhood from the government. And when needed, to simply advance the agenda of historic Islam. And as we'll see, this duplicity, I'm for the government, I'm creating a special apparatus to overthrow the government. I believe in free elections, I want to overthrow the government. This duplicity is woven into the very fabric of the Muslim Brotherhood to this day. All right? Hypocrisy, deceit, double-handed dealing. This is double dealing. This is part of the fiber of the Muslim Brotherhood, exemplified and practiced by the founder, Hassan al-Banna. All right, when we come back from this break, I'll begin talking about one of his publications called Toward the Light. This is when he started to really tick off the leaders of Egypt and basically every other despot, Muslim despot, who ruled in a so-called Muslim country, because what he said in Toward the Light was, you're in the dark, and I can show you the way out. The altar is open for jihad. Come forth, brothers, come forth. How would you like to be able to reach hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions of potential customers with your product or your company or your web-based business? Well, you can do that right here on this show. Every single day, we get phone calls or letters or orders online from states all over the country where people are watching this television show. Right now, we are seen in 45 cities at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time every night, and then a rerun again at 12:30 midnight. You can reach them using this show at advertising rates that are so inexpensive, it would blow your mind. So, if you're interested, contact us at the phone number that you see on the screen or the email address, and we can talk about how you can grow your business and help support this show. Welcome back to the program, friend. Hassan al-Banna, the 22-year-old watch repairman and elementary school teacher whose dad was a brilliant hadith scholar. By the way, I use words like that guardedly, all right? The hadith are the words of Muhammad. Hassan al-Banna started the Muslim Brotherhood, and then he wrote a letter to the King of Egypt, the Prime Minister, and to the political leaders of basically every Muslim nation that emerged after the breakup of the Ottoman Empire. The name of that piece of literature is Toward the Light. On the next program in this series, I will read to you some of the more lengthy passages of Toward the Light. And it was the goal of the Muslim Brotherhood declared to kings, to political leaders. Al-Banna believed, here's kind of an overview, right? Al-Banna believed, as Muhammad taught, and Muhammad's companions modeled, that Islam answered all questions and gave binding direction and laws for all matters in this life, that it had a legislative aspect, Sharia law, that must be obeyed and spread by Muslims from one ummah, one people, and one caliph. The end, all right? Now, in June of 1947, he published this about a 20-page tract called Toward the Light, written to the King of Egypt, and it was sent, he actually said in the foreword, to kings, princes, and rulers of various countries in the Islamic world. He also sent to a great number of civic and religious leaders in various countries. Well, his message was the need to rebuild Egypt and all Muslim nations from top to bottom on the principles of Islam, not on the tormented, wretched, greedy ideals of Western nations. He gave a lengthy application of Islamic principles, filled with literally dozens of quotes from the Quran. You can Bing it, all right? Look for it online. Just say Toward the Light, Hassan al-Banna. You can read the thing for yourself. He gave tons of quotes from the Quran regarding the armed forces, public health, science, morality, education, civil service, minorities, economics. He then finished with his overarching exhortation, all right? The real reason of his writing, and it's the thing that made him and his followers personas non grata in the halls of Middle Eastern power. Namely, he called for an end to all political parties, the full implementation of Sharia law, training Muslim youth in Islamic jihad, and the restoration of the office of the Caliph. Okay? Now he ends Toward the Light with an offer for the Muslim Brotherhood to help achieve these goals. Here's what he said. We place ourselves, our talents, and all we possess in the hands of any committee or government desirous of taking a step forward, hand in hand with an Islamic nation, note singular nation, toward progress and achievement. We will answer the call, and we are prepared to sacrifice ourselves. There you have it. So he kind of does a fishing expedition, only he's the one who gets caught up in the net. We'll talk more about that in some of the coming shows. Now, from a Western democratic perspective, the Muslim Brotherhood's stated goals in Toward the Light, okay? I've read the entire document, beginning to end. The stated goals of Toward the Light and many other publications from the Muslim Brotherhood and things that he wrote, it's a roadmap. The Toward the Light is a roadmap down the Wahhabi River. The Wahhabi River, that's a play on words. Wahhabis are the Sunni sect that dominate Saudi Arabian policy. I've got my guy here going, oh, what's the Wahhabi River? I ain't never heard of Wahhabi. Way down upon Wahhabi River. That's the play on words. Wahhabi Muslims are tyrants. You want to see what true Islam looks like? Go to Saudi Arabia. Anyway, it's a blueprint. Toward the Light is a blueprint calling for the end of free speech, okay? The end of a free press, the end of freedom of religion, all right? The total Islamization of society according to Sharia law. If I was in a Muslim nation doing this show, I would be killed. I've already had death threats from the Muslims. All right? That's what Sharia law, that's what it's all about, people. What's it all about, al-Banna? Well, you can see the genius of Hassan al-Banna and these cells, these 5-member cells, and you can see how it just continues to grow and to spread. And the Muslim Brotherhood is in over 70 countries spreading their message, and it is directly connected in many circumstances to Muslim terrorism. We have received a death threat from the Theo Van Gogh Society. The Theo Van Gogh Society does not exist. Theo Van Gogh was murdered in broad daylight, had his throat cut because he produced a film critical of the way Muslim women are treated under Islamic law, and he was killed for it. So the message to us is simple. Stop doing television shows that criticize Islam or that criticize Islamic law, etc. We will not be silenced by fear and by acts of terror, because that's exactly what they want. Jesus said, fear not man, but fear him, the one who can cast your soul into hell. We're going to fear God. But we still don't have to be like sheep led to the slaughter. We can still protect our families and protect our ministry. That's why I'm asking for your help. We need to raise money to beef up our security here as well as at our homes. If you will stand with us, go to the website, pick up the phone, write us. But we need your help and we need to hear from you today. Please stand with us.